How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to your morning cup. We start today off with 2021, a year of bringing in new joy, new cheer. People across the world celebrated the new year in different fashions than what has otherwise become the custom and the norm. About all these years that we celebrated New Year's in a certain fashion, turns out that this year most of us stayed indoors and watched a lot of fireworks that were put on display across the globe. The Sydney Opera House fireworks show being one of the biggest ones, including a few in the United States. But then there were those that still went out of their way, still broke the lockdown codes, and still went out socializing. In France alone, 2,000 people were detained after being caught at a party that was never supposed to happen. The permits that need to be in place were not there in place. As a matter of fact, there is no permit that you can get for a gathering of that size. Yet, people fail to realize the seriousness of the issue, and we are still living in a time where the coronavirus is still running as rampant as ever before. Australia has gone out of its way to change one word in its national anthem that symbolizes, according to the Prime Minister of Australia, unity amongst its Indigenous people. A national recognition of the Indigenous people has been something that is very much required across the globe, no matter where you might be. You see, humanity has branched out today, and there is more diversity today than ever before. So we cannot point at one piece of land and say that no, this belongs to just that community. But what we can do, however, is understand that there are people who have belonged to a place longer than we have, longer than before diversity happened. And such diversity and such recognition goes a long way in giving hope to the indigenous people that, yeah, we are not going to forget about you, about your rights, and about who you are and what you mean to this land, which is all that they care about. We move on to Tokyo and the latest in the Olympic news. The Olympic Committee has officially announced that the Tokyo 2021 Games will officially go on. Upon a lot of speculation, considering that there were two new variants of the coronavirus found in Tokyo, further procurement of where and how branched out the games might be, whether they'll be in the same complex area or will they create a same bubble kind of scenario that most sports organizations have created to hold on to their ability to run their leagues. The Olympic Village might not be as prevalent as usually is, but it's still too early to say as to what actually happens by the time the Olympics roll around this year. Argentina has finally legalized a landmark bill stating that abortion is now legal in Argentina, despite of rampant protests and continuous efforts to make sure that the Argentinian government legalizes abortion. It is finally here and it's finally legal. So huge congratulations to everyone who protested and a huge congratulations to the people of Argentina. A US federal judge has dismissed the lawsuit that was filed by Republicans in order to force the hand of Vice President Mike Pence to interfere in the electoral college count. Now, this was the thing that was put forth by most of these right-wing media houses as well as certain centralists, stating that this could be the go-to for the Republicans, that they force Mike Pence. But now that a judge has intervened and this whole agenda is thrown out the window, we are still left asking more questions than we have answers. What will happen on January the 6th? And what will happen next? Will Biden officially be in the White House on the 20th of January? Or will something else completely derail the whole election process? It's too early to tell, but it's rather quickly developing. We will keep you updated. India and Norway have finally lifted the travel ban that was imposed upon the United Kingdom. India and Norway, just like most of the rest of the world, were banning travel from the United Kingdom due to fears of a new variant. But now, in order to ensure that everything is running smooth, flights have now been resumed. So if you were stuck in the United Kingdom or if you're stuck in India and you want to go back home, now you can officially do that, of course under the right pretenses and of course following the guidelines that have been set in place by these individual countries as a whole. Hundreds of starling birds have been killed after massive fireworks displays on New Year's Eve. People went out of their way to find fireworks because they couldn't do anything else. But what we didn't understand is the fact that the environmental quotient that fireworks bring into play is nothing short of horrific for the birds and the animals that are affected. Hundreds of mass deaths of birds just sheerly falling out of the sky. It's just sad to look at, considering that on one end these fireworks were supposed to be a display of overcoming adversity in a year that held us all in, and then we end the year with ruining it for the birds that managed to survive it as well. We move on to the final story of the day, which has come out from the United Nations watchdogs. And the United Nations watchdogs have officially come out to say that Iran is going to go ahead with purifying up to 20% of uranium. We've all heard about the assassination of Soleimani as well as the assassination of a few other nuclear scientists on a global scale. What we do understand is the fact that there is a lot of apprehension with Iran being able to manufacture nuclear weaponry. Will this result in new sanctions from the rest of the world? Will this result in the United Nations intervening, or will this result in its own way, shape, or form? It's too early to say for now. But what we do understand is the fact that the world in 2021 is taking steps that the future is going to be pretty grim about. Alright, with that being said, it's been your morning cup. See you tomorrow.